Well, thank you for joining us for another iTWire video with top Australian executives. Joining me today is James Belsey. He is the Regional Pre-sales Manager for Australia and New Zealand with Qlik. Qlik are data discovery specialists doing a lot of analytics. But without further ado, James, please tell us all about Qlik.
Thanks, Alex. Well, Qlik is a leader in data discovery in both the guided analytics space and more recently in self-service visualization. So what we really concentrate on is enabling business users themselves to get answers to the questions that they have about their data. So it's not about just those business analysts, it's not about those data scientists, it's about business people themselves getting answers to the questions that they have about their data.
Now, you've been around for 22 years, you had customers 10 years ago in Australia, but you landed in Australia 5 years ago, you've been with the company since that time.
Yeah.
Now, how, obviously the internet's changed a lot, computers have changed a lot, but I mean, how has Qlik evolved over those 22 years? Just give us a quick snapshot. It's a long time to be in business.
Well,
that was like the Jurassic era back then, just about.
Absolutely. So I think one of the real pieces of foresight that Qlik had way back when was in embracing in-memory computing. So back in 1993, when the company was founded, may have seemed a bit crazy to build something in memory.
Still using DOS.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you only had a small amount of memory available. But as 64-bit came along, and as we had gigabytes and then multi-gigabytes of memory available to us, the fundamental architecture that Qlik's been based on has been able to scale to meet the needs of customers. And now we have customers that load billions of rows of data into Qlik. Solutions to enable that analysis for business people to get those answers to those questions on really large data sets really quickly.
And now, of course, with the proliferation of mobile devices, all that information is just in the tip of your, fingertips.
Absolutely.
And it's very rich data too. It's not just a dashboard, but you can really drill down.
That's correct. And you can go wherever you want. And one of the real differences that Qlik provides is the ability to start anywhere and go anywhere. So it's not just about drill down through hierarchies, which can be complex for business people to understand, because what if I don't know where something is in the hierarchy? Yeah. With Qlik, we enable people to search through the data, to start wherever they want and to go wherever they want, following their own connections within.
Yeah, instead of being a linear experience, it's choose your own analytics adventure.
Absolutely. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah.
Well, I just, when I was growing up, we had a video recorder, and the very first time we ever recorded something, I just naturally assumed as a kid, oh yeah, we can edit out the ads. It was to my dismay that I discovered as a young child that this is a linear recording system. Now, of course, kids doing that, it's all non-linear. You can go in wherever you want, and why shouldn't it be exactly the same with the way that your analytics works, as you've described? Absolutely. So, how obviously you've got a lot of competitors out there, and we hear recently about Microsoft launching its Power BI tool, business intelligence tool. Now, how do your solutions, in a nutshell, compare to your competitors and to what must be a sort of a pretty new solution from Microsoft, not necessarily with the maturity that a 22-year company should have? Yeah,
so I guess there's definitely that aspect to it. Qlik has been around for 22 years. Our technology and the software has been evolving for that time, so we're now in version 11.2 of QlikView, and we just released in September last year version 1 of Qlik Sense, but that's based on the same fundamental technology underneath. It's just a different spin on that, which we'll look at today, focused on self-service visualization. There are other competitors out there, and I think the real differentiator for us is both focusing on the business user themselves, so ensuring that business users, not just those analysts, not those data scientists, can get answers to the question, but also on enabling them to get answers in a way that's very simple. So rather than drilling down, again, using search, going through the data in the way that makes sense to them, starting where they want, moving wherever they want, and in bringing data from multiple sources together. So it's not just about getting data from the corporate data warehouse, it's about, well, some of our data might be in Excel spreadsheets, some of it might be Access data.
Or maybe some part of someone else's public cloud storage space.
Absolutely. It's in Salesforce.com. It's wherever data is, we can get it together really simply and make it available for business users.
So given all of this, what are some of the real world challenges that your customers today are facing, and how's Qlik working to address those?
Sure.
Beyond what beyond the sort of the general examples you've given us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a variety of customers here in Australia. Everyone from the major enterprises such as Telstra, ANZ Bank, Westpac, down to small to medium enterprise customers, and the challenges that people have are very similar in many ways. Bringing data together from different sources is often a challenge, and we enable that in a very simple way, very quickly. For example, people like Telstra are using Qlik to analyze Net Promoter Score. We've got people like Westpac doing customer analytics. Again, bringing together data from multiple data sources and making it available to those business users to enable them to get the answers to the questions they have and improve their customer experiences.
Any other direct examples of how customers are using Qlik, even Qlik itself, using Qlik itself?
Sure. I mean, we use Qlik extensively internally. I use it personally for looking at how our sales performance is going. We have insights into our marketing campaigns. We look at the response rates. Again, bringing together data from Salesforce.com. We use Salesforce.com with our own internal systems, with various other bits of data to really make it simple for the business users in our business, because we're not all data scientists. I've got a great experience in analysis, but our regional director, they don't have that experience, but they can still get the answers to the questions that they have.
So let's get a bit of a demo then, both of Qlik and Qlik Sense, and maybe some of the fun apps you developed with it. But let's go first. I'm just going to move the camera in a bit closer here, and I'll just move it closer to get a bit of a more direct onto the screen. I'll zoom in here. Okay, so go for it.
So one of the things that's top of mind for me today, being a homeowner, is the RBA decisions. So later today we're going to have a decision on the cash rate. I think there's when I listened on the radio this morning, they said there's a 50-50 chance of it going down. So we'll see what happens. But they publish all this information on their website. So if I go to that here, I can see here the Reserve Bank of Australia. It shows me since this is looking from 2008 to the current date, what the decisions have been. So that's really useful information, but it's difficult to visualize in here. I can't really see what the trends are.
Sure. It's just a wall of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. What I might want to do is visualize that. So in Qlik, we've recently just launched a community called Qlik Branch. And Qlik Branch is a way for developers to build things in a very simple way and share them with other people. So one of the things that one of the developers has built is something they've called Sense It. And what Sense It allows me to do is take the data from a web page like this, as you've just seen, and very quickly bring that into Qlik Sense for visualization. So what I'll do now is show you how quickly and simply we can do that.
Let's go.
So all I have to do is in Google Chrome, I install the Sense It extension, and then I can go here, I can click Sense It, and it says drag and drop any table to visualize it. So I can simply drag and drop the data from this table here into the Sense It visualization, click Create App, and this will immediately create an application with this data in, which I can then open and then start to visualize. So I can go in here, I can create a new sheet now, and I can simply edit this, and now all of that data from that web page has been loaded into Qlik Sense. And what I can now do is I can say, well, let's create a bar chart. So I can just drag and drop that, and it tells me add a dimension, add a measure. So add a dimension, what I want is my effective date as the dimension, add a measure, I want my new cash rate, and just give me the average of that. And immediately now I've got that visualization. So in 30 seconds or so, maybe even less, I've got that data, I've started to visualize that in the product.
And it was in just a few clicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably why you call the business Qlik.
Absolutely. And then if I say, well, actually, maybe this isn't the best visualization for this, maybe a line chart might be a better visual, so I can just drag and drop that and say convert it to a line chart.
Or you could probably have two side by side. So
Absolutely.
Whatever you want, really.
If I just want to look at particular dates, I can go in and I can do that. So if I just want to look at this date range here, I can just select those and I can zoom in on that particular date range. So again, it becomes very simple for me to do that. So that's a really simple example. What we might look at now is other ways of analyzing data. So that's just some data from a web page. What if I want to analyze something that someone sent to me an email in a spreadsheet, or I've downloaded from somewhere? So what I can do for that is I can go in and I can take a look at the type of spreadsheet that might be available. So here I've got some information. It's got a number of tabs along the bottom, a number of sheets in this Excel sheet here. I've got things like customers.
And we're in Excel?
Yep, so this is in Excel. So this might be this type of thing that someone sends to you. Right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's if I've got this in Excel, I've got all the information here, but it can be very difficult for me to analyze this. I can start to create pivot tables. I can try and join this together.
Yeah, I mean, Excel has a bunch of charting things. But
yeah, exactly. It's typically not something that business users can do that much. There might be some people in your business can do this, but not everyone.
Yeah.
So what I might do is try and visualize this in Qlik Sense. So I'm just going to shut that down in Excel now and go back into Qlik Sense.
So we're in the Qlik Sense hub. We've logged into your back end there.
Yeah, and this is the Qlik Sense desktop. This is the free version, which you can download from our website, qlik.com. Everything you see me do here, you can do for free. There's no time limits on this or anything. So I can go in here, I can go and create a new app, and I'm going to call this Sales Analysis. I'm just going to call it Sales because I've already got one called Sales Analysis. It tells me sales was created successfully. I'm going to open this app.
I like how you call them apps because everyone's familiar with apps.
Yeah,
so,
it's
and that's what it is, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So it tells me now I can bring data in by using the data load editor, or I can quick data load. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drag and drop this spreadsheet. So this is exactly the same spreadsheet we were just looking at. Just going to drag and drop that in here.
Into the data load editor side?
Yep. And now it shows me the information. So what I can do now is validate, is this the right information I want to bring in? Am I bringing in the right things I want to look at? And I can see all those sheets here. So I've got my categories, customers, employees, offices, and I want to bring in the data from all of these sheets. So I'm just going to go through and tick all of these. I'm going to bring in all the data from all of these sheets and then click Load Data. And just in a couple of seconds now that's loaded the data, and now I can start to edit this. So what this has done behind the scenes is it has brought all of this data in, and it has automatically joined it together based on the relationships that are already there. So it's worked out that, okay, well, I've got employee ID in here, I've got an order ID, I've got customer ID. Let's work out how these things join together. And it's done all of that for me.
Almost looks like a bit of a mind map.
That's right, yeah, very much so. So it's showing the relationships that are inherent within this data. So that now allows me to go in and just start building things with it. So I can go in here, and again, I can just start to build a bar chart. And I can say, well, let's add a dimension here. What do I want to see? Let's show me my product categories. What do I want to see in there? Maybe I want to see my sales. So I can just search in here. And again, it's designed to be as simple as possible for business users to do this. So I can go in here, I can say, yeah, my sales, what do I want to do with my sales? Do I want to sum it? Do I want to count it? Do I want to average it? And we have, loads more functions behind the scenes as well, but these are the most simple ones available here, the most common ones. Yeah. So now if I show that, that shows me a breakdown of my sales by category. That's great. What I might also want to do is have a look at my sales in a different way. So what I might want to do is show my sales by city, for example. So what I might do here is bring in a tree map. And again, I can just drag and drop this in where I want it to be, add my dimension, and let's look at city. And I'm going to use the same measure. So I'm just going to search for my sales again. And I'm going to do my sum of sales. So now that shows me here, the biggest one shows me where most of my sales are. Yeah. What I might also want to do though is do some analysis of this. So I can go in here as well, and I can say, let's just bring in things like, where are we?
It really is data visualization as opposed to just a bunch of numbers.
Absolutely.
I mean, a bunch of numbers is like the Matrix, just
exactly.
trickling down the screen.
So I'm going to add my country on here, and what I might also add on here is my office, as an example. So if I click Done, now again this shows me the visualization, shows me the data. And if I want to find out, okay, well, where are we selling our women's wear? What cities are we selling the most women's wear?
Presumably you just click on it.
That's right. If I click on women's wear, everything else immediately updates to show me that information. Because everything is inherently related behind the scenes. Yeah. So I can go through here and I can look at, okay, this also shows me where we are selling women's wear, but also where we're not selling women's wear. Yeah. And often the not associated information can be as important, if not more important. So what this shows me is it shows me now, okay, both what customers are doing, but also what customers aren't doing. So who's not buying these products? Who's not taking up these offers from us? Who's not responding to this marketing campaign? And often with traditional business intelligence tools, that's often much more difficult to get than the simple answers.
So just for those who are unaware or want a bit more explanation, I mean, how are people currently getting this data out of their Excel spreadsheets? Are they just struggling with the tools that are inside of Excel to build little pie charts and then just jamming it together themselves? Or
Yeah,
or is there something in Salesforce they're using? Or I mean, what's the short version that you see customers who don't know about Qlik, and you show them this and they go, oh, thank God I've been doing it this way. What was the way they were doing it?
So 90% of the time people are doing it in Excel.
Yeah.
And even if they have business intelligence tools from before, so there are traditional business intelligence tools out there, 90% of the time with those, what people do is they take the reports that are being created for them and export it to Excel, and then they do further manipulation in Excel. So that's what people do.
But this is dramatically cutting down the time and simplifying the whole.
And and the reason behind that was because those traditional tools didn't give people the flexibility they needed to get the answers to the questions that they had. So they'd take it into Excel and they'd get some Excel guru to build what they needed and massage it and get the chart that they wanted. But now with tools like Qlik, they can do that themselves in a really simple way.
So what else would you like to show us about this whilst we're in front of the computer and you've got this opportunity to
So
demo stuff?
I guess for me what this is about is, yes, it's about doing sales analysis and things like that, but the other thing that's interesting for me is that we have a lot of information in our personal lives now as well. So you can go into your internet banking, you can download all your transactions. If you've got a smart meter for electricity, you can get all of that electricity information. We've got a lot of information available to us. So what I like to do, because that's me, is get that information and analyze it and try and look at the trends and try and understand.
A friend of mine likes to analyze everything, likes to get the meters and look at all the details and quantify it. I suppose this can turn anybody into a quant.
So I mean, one of the things I did recently, we recently, well, a little over a year ago now, had a third child, and that changed things for us in ways that I didn't really think about beforehand, which was, okay, well now if we want to go out in the car and take all 3 children and the grandmother, we can't go in one car anymore because we only have 5 seats. So we went, okay, well, we probably need to buy a 7-seat car now.
To buy a minivan.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a case of, well, what one though? How do I make a decision about which ones, and how do I narrow down the field? So me being kind of analytical, I built an Excel spreadsheet around this just to capture the data, right? So if I go here, I've got an Excel spreadsheet which shows this information.
Let me just zoom in here. I can see it on the screen behind us.
Sure.
But I'll just come down here and zoom in.
So what I did was I basically went around and had a look at all the 7-seat SUVs, because I didn't want something that was permanently 7 seats, because we weren't going to be taking out 7 people all the time. I wanted something that was convertible. So we looked at 7-seat SUVs. So I went on the websites of all the manufacturers and just copied down the relevant details. So things like the length, width, height, turning circle, and then some of the key features that were of interest to me, like things like a reversing camera, because they're pretty important these days, especially with a big car. Things like keyless entry start, that helps my wife get in and out of the car,
carrying
with the shopping
the kids
and the kids and everything else. So
crucial features.
Absolutely. So put all of that into Excel, but again, it's really difficult to analyze that.
It's a wall of numbers.
Exactly. So what I then did was load that into Qlik and create an app with that. So
I've got you prepared earlier.
So this is exactly the same information. I've just built this and saved it. I've just got one simple sheet here, and all this has got here is it shows me this is the make and model of the cars, along with the price of those cars. Down here it shows me some of the key specifications around those particular cars, and then I've got a number of things I can select from on the left-hand side.
And let's go through some of those.
Well, exactly. So, like I said, something that was important to me was a reversing camera. So if I say yes, it must have that. That narrows down the field
straight
for
away,
me. If I then say yes, it must have keyless start, because that's important, now it gets narrowed down even further. I've now got around 8 to choose from. And now, if I go for some of the things which are maybe less important but nice to have, I can go in here and say, well, Bluetooth audio is quite useful for me because I don't really want to have to plug in cables all the time. Having climate control is important, but actually what this shows me is that all the cars that I've got here have climate control, because that's the only one in white. So that doesn't actually affect things for me. And then I can say, well, things like having sunshades in the back to protect the kids, and you don't have to put things up and down
and suction cap them and
exactly.
all that sort of stuff.
So and now I've got one car that meets my criteria.
You can see it's a business decision-making tool.
Exactly. But you can, like I said, you can do this with any data that you've got. So other things, again, if you're like me, I have multiple accounts with multiple institutions. I don't have everything in one place. I've got my transaction account with one institution, I've got one credit card with one place, and another credit card with somewhere else. So it can be difficult to get a consolidated view of your spend from that. So again, with Qlik Sense, I can bring that data together really easily. So I can go in here, I can look at, well, where am I spending? And this brings together the data from all these three sources. So here I've got my transaction account, my Citibank card, and my 28 Degrees MasterCard. So I can look at all of this data, and because I have the ability to search through it as well, I can go in and say, well, how much am I spending at Coles, for example? So I can go in here, and I can search for anything that has Coles in. So I can search this, and I can now select all the payees which have Coles in.
Yep.
And now I can see here in total over the, I think this 3-month period, the vast amount of money that I spend with Coles. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, again, getting insight from multiple sources, getting into the data, and you can do things like get some more trends from this. So in your internet banking, it'll often, you can see the transactions, it will give you the total, things like that. But you know, how much am I spending on individual days? I can look at that in here. What's my average spend by weekday? I can see here I don't spend much on Wednesdays, but spend a large amount on Thursdays for some reason. Not
Probably
entirely sure.
late night shopping.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
There you go. But you know, starting to get that insight and starting to understand those data points is really what this is all about.
And of course, doing this doesn't require you to use MYOB or Xero or any of this. You can just do this with the, you know, if you don't use those programs. If you're using them, you probably get some element of this in those.
For sure.
But you know, if you're just a everyday consumer at home wanting to track this, then this is part of your free offering. Yeah,
exactly. You just download those CSV files from your internet banking, from the different sources. As long as you've got something to join them together, which in this case is the date, just bring it together. It's really easy.
Now, just in the interest of time, let's squeeze some of the other questions I have together. You know, obviously the Australian market presents various opportunities to Qlik, but what are the key trends globally and in Australia that are driving the adoption of Qlik solutions, and you know, what are Qlik's plans for future growth? And mix into all of that, you know, what are organisations doing wrong when they're embarking on a business intelligence strategy? I know that's like 4 questions in one, but I'm sure you can give us the picture.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
So I think some of the key trends we're seeing are very much around mobile.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, whilst I've shown everything here on my desktop, this is showing the free desktop version. So, like I said, you can download this for free from our website.
Qlik.com.
Yeah, absolutely, Qlik.com. All of this capability is available through mobile devices as well. So if you've got a tablet device, as long as it's got an HTML5 compliant browser, which is iPads, pretty much all Android devices, Windows devices, etc. You can do all of this. You can build
through
everything,
the browser, and
you can interact and get the answers to your questions. So that what we're seeing now is a lot of people really wanting that. Organisations are enabling their workforces in a mobile way, and people want answers wherever they are now, not just when they go into the office and sit down at their computers.
And is there a Qlik app as well? There must be.
Yeah, there is a Qlik app available on the App Store, but the way that we present this information is through HTML5, which provides a really rich experience, and you don't need that app.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, and you know, the problem with having apps can be that you take that data with you, which, you know, often if we're working with enterprise customers, that data is very sensitive. So having that data on a device which you could lose really easily is not a good thing.
Better for it to be web accessible and then presumably delivered via HTTPS, only via passwords.
That's correct.
And that way you get a bit more data integrity or safety.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then, you know, the opportunities for the Australian, you know, for Qlik in the Australian market, and you know, your plans for future growth here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, as you mentioned earlier, we've been around in Australia for 5 years now, and we've really only scratched the surface of the Australian market.
Plus data's only growing and growing every day. I mean, we're still in the black and white era, even though all this big data and data warehousing and petabytes and yettabytes and zettabytes. It's still a black and white era of what we can do with it.
Absolutely, and you know, people are starting to understand the potential of the information that's there, and we're really there to help them take advantage of that information. I'm very happy to do so.
So, so what are organisations doing wrong when they embark on this strategy? I
think often
you would probably say not ringing Qlik.
Well, I mean, that's the first thing. After that, you know, some of the things that people do is you've got to find the balance between empowering the business users and governance of the information. If you get that out of balance, you don't get the adoption that you need from technology. So I think that's one of the things that Qlik makes very simple. We make it very simple to enable business users to get the answers to the questions they have in a very simple, intuitive way, but maintaining that security and governance over the top of it as well. So really you get the best of both worlds in that case. The security and governance that IT's typically looking for, but enabling the business users to really get the answers that they need.
So, we've seen a lot of maturity in the analytics space. But what will it look like in the next few years? How will it mature further?
Well, that's a really great question. I think if we all had the answers to that, we'd be
multi-zillionaires.
Indeed. But I think some of the things that we're seeing obviously is new devices coming along. So you've got wearable devices now. Whether that information becomes available on there.
Sure.
So
I see you have a Fitbit, for example.
I do.
Yeah.
We have a corporate challenge at the moment for everyone to get fit. So I'm participating in that, which is great fun. And also, different user interfaces as well. We're seeing seeing touch become much more prevalent now, whether that's on tablet devices or laptops, but other user interfaces as well. So we see speech recognition. We see natural language becoming important. We see gesture-based interfaces maybe becoming important.
Microsoft HoloLens.
Absolutely.
I can imagine people will be, manipulating their data in the air with holograms. A bit like we saw from some of those cyberpunk movies with Keanu Reeves.
It's certainly becoming closer to reality. So I think as those different interface paradigms become more prevalent, we'll start to see business intelligence solutions reacting to those, because some of those things will be well adopted, some of them won't, some of them become niche and die out, but we'll see what happens over the next few years.
And of course, with all this information, it's still up to the businesses to then make the right decisions. But that's slightly out of your hands. You're helping them as much as you possibly can.
That's right. What we do is provide the information in a simple way to enable, like I said, business people to get answers. What they do with those answers, how they interpret those, is up to them.
So, any final messages, not only for iTWire readers and viewers, but also for your current and potential customers? You see, I love these multi-questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I would say is, if you haven't experienced Qlik, go and download it. Go to qlik.com, download the free version, because it is as simple as I've shown it here. This isn't smoke and mirrors. This is as simple as getting in, dragging and dropping in an Excel spreadsheet. Start that way. Start to visualize that data, start to get the answers from that data that you're looking for, and see how simple it can be. You don't have to be frustrated with Excel or your traditional BI solutions. Get in there and have a play with it, because that's what it's all about.
Okay. Thank you, James, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.